white people don't worry about racism. They children not worried about racism because they don't experience that like our man does. Every day he leaves the house, we don't know if he's coming back. That's every son, every nephew, every father, every brother. He don't have to do nothing. Ain't no being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every place is the wrong place for the black man in America.
RGY Productions, Saeed Mahdi here to talk about the sympathy for the black man. We need sympathy for the black man, and I intend to tell you why. Okay, RGY, a wise man once said, 2 things can keep a person in the trap: following the ways of your elders, or being trafficked, forced, or beaten into submission. Right? So when you have these elements in the community or on the people, then it's gonna bring a new identity, a trap identity, which is gonna give you a new trap role and a purpose, because you're in a trap, right? You can get out of the trap if you had good elders and if you wasn't forced to be something that you don't know what it is.
Well, I think it was Frantz Fanon who said that when a people can't fight the oppressor, then they turn on the oppressed.
Yes, that's precise, because those are the 2 things that got black men trapped in this identity crisis. You don't know how to be a man, so you have no purpose. This is what slavery did to you. And so in the 21st century, you have this nigga breed. And it's not just on him, it's on her too. Right? The life of drug dealing and prostitution and looking like video thoughts and Instagram desperados helps in the product development of nigger breeding. Where's the sympathy for the black man today?
So let me ask you this, Queen Mother. Can you speak to the audience? Can you speak to me about male-female relationships, roles that we should play? So what is the role that the black men in our community should play? And what is the role black women in our community? What role should we play? Can you discuss the role?
Well, we all share the same ancestral slave history, but consisted of separating us from our man. It wasn't just to force us to work or to nurse their babies so that they could grow up and be strong, because the white woman was too frail and weak to produce.
Once again, 2 things can keep you in a trap. You have to have first some elders who are leading you astray, or being forced, trafficked, or beaten into submission, meaning you have to do this business. Okay, we're acting a certain way, male and female, and today we're not addressing the reason why. So that means there's no sympathy for the black man. So you're seeing him trapped in some identity crisis, doesn't know his role or purpose, which is now a product developed, built on research and data that benefits white supremacy, right? So now you have musicians, actors, etc., all contrived to keep you in this nigga state.
A lot of that sentiment, a lot of their ideas, a lot of their disdain in front of us for our black men and hatred for our children, and a lot of things genetically, we have been reproducing that now for like 17, 18, 19 generations.
That's a fact.
And we keep thinking that it came from someplace else. And we don't understand that we have choices, which is what I want to talk about mostly tonight. We have choices. We think we can only have choice of freedom of speech, which isn't true either. And we think that we have choice of the clothes we're going to wear, or maybe where we're going to live, where we're going to work, what kind of education we're going to get, and a lot of things. But we have choices also about what kind of relationship we want to have. We don't have to follow the pattern that was taught to us. we were always told that we were stronger than our men.
Yes.
And so they
Yes.
did things for us to make it appear as if we were stronger. But actually, we just live in a society where the entire society is built on supporting us as Black women to make us look down on the Black man and to make him feel inadequate
Come
to
on.
take care of us.
Come on.
See, in the beginning, Ali says every place is the wrong place for the Black man because, you see, slavery was an act of war. And we've been in a holy war ever since. And so the results of nigger breeding, giving you a trap identity, role, and purpose now places the family in question, the role in question, the identity, how we see each other, how we value each other, how we carry out our roles as male and female. Do we even have a purpose for these roles and identities? This is what A Moment with Ali is all about, is that we are not having enough sympathy for the Black man. We are holding him up to too many standards that we don't even know fits our own identity and role and purpose for the freedom of oppression. We've been oppressed and we're still trying to figure out our identities. Sympathy for the Black man.
One.
See? And so a lot of what has been going on, we have been practicing without knowledge of what we were doing because we thought we believed the lie and the rumor. We have the only community where the woman is considered stronger and greater and smarter than the man.
Come on.
Okay? And that's very sad for us because we have the best man on the earth. Everybody wants our man but us. Okay? And it's getting so he wants everybody but us. So, we're getting to be up against some really strong and terrible times. Not getting along is a luxury.
Who taught you how to hate yourself? Who taught you to bleach your skin to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate what God made you to look like? Malcolm X, right? Because Black males and Black females have been practicing a self-hating, degenerating, emasculating, humiliating culture.
I say that all the time because we have time to fall out and make up, get mad for a week, don't talk to you for a day, 2 days, and we practice all kind of nonsense of separation when we really should be trying to separate ourselves from the ideas of the enemy who set us against each other to begin with. We didn't ordinarily just not get along. We used to get along. But for the past...
Yes, that wise man was the Prophet Muhammad, 1855. Two things that can keep you in a trap is when you have bad role models, essentially. And you got to consider the fact that we are descendants of abuse and slavery. Post-traumatic slavery affects us all. So being trafficked, forced, or beaten into submission, that happened to our forefathers. And then that created a new identity, role, and purpose for you. And now we're practicing the behavior today.
Especially the past 60 years, we're not getting along at all. We don't have any patience with each other. And the fault of that is the elder Black man and Black woman. Now, when I say the elders, it's their fault, and 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 it's their fault.
Arjiwa, this is an elder smashing on the elders. And Allah blesses her. 1855. Two things that keep people in the trap is that you follow the way of the elders. The elders learned how to be niggas or slaves from the abuse that they got, being trafficked, forced, or beaten into submission. So you see, it is their fault. The reason why the youth today are out of control and the reason why the Black life is not mattering is because the elders failed us in demonstrating what our proper identity, roles, and purpose was. Can we get sympathy for the Black male today in their 20s and 30s? This is for the people to wake up.
And a lot of people don't want to change their name because they'll say, my mother named me that. Or a lot of people want to go vote because they'll say, my father died so we could vote. Well, they didn't know any better. It's not an insult against them to change. They didn't know any better.
Come on.
They were blind, deaf, and dumb, mentally dead to the knowledge of self, God, or the devil. They didn't have any idea what the truth was. They were doing what they had to do to survive. They were a people of their time.
A people of their time. So you see, the 20s and 30s, and anybody who is trying to reform, revive, and revolutionize themselves so they can be effective in this revolution has to have sympathy for the black male in their 20s and 30s. RGY, the Rightly Guided Youth Organization, is an advocate for the youth because their elders failed them, and 1855 confirms it, and Shahrazad Ali's voice echoes the Holy Quran.
But we are this time. And since we can now look at some of the failures of those old slavery time ideas, then we should be trying to change instead of separating from each other based upon the confusion that they put in us. They made us demand things from our man that they systematically keep him from getting. So he can't.
Right. The police killed Philando Castile in 2016. That's the system after your black man. Look at what slavery did to the black family. And now your daughters want to look like that, and your sons want to look like that. Look at what slavery did to your people. Look at what being a descendant of nigger breeding has made our women do in their 20s and 30s. Promoting and being patriotic for our culture that oppressed you and made you a nigger. Look at how we got conscious coons who know what I'm talking about, who knows what Shahrazad Ali is talking about, who had Shahrazad Ali on his channel, but chooses to milk the people's money for a profit instead of freedom of their oppression. Let's go.
And give it to us. And so we married to the government. They take care of us like our man should. They give us food, clothes, shelter, health care, child care, education, an apartment. Whatever it is we need, they step in as our man. And they only do that, as I said, for the two reasons: to make him look inadequate and to make us not want to be bothered with him, to destroy his little ego that he got left, and to make us think that we are better than him. And we'll tell him, I can make it. I don't know why you can't make it. Well, yeah, he can't make it because he can't get an apartment if he don't have the children. He can't get food stamps. He can't get transportation. He can't get a lot of those things unless he has the children.
RGY, this is a wake-up call for all the seekers of knowledge, all the seekers of truth. Understand that we need sympathy for the black male in their 20s and 30s who are trying to understand this trap that they're in. Okay? They're suffering from a trap of identity. They don't know their role or purpose, as well as the woman. So we need advocates who are willing to do more than Sa-Neter has done. We need to advocate in the streets about the behaviors and effects of our people and our youth from slavery and our elders.
The purpose of education is to civilize the people. It's not to just become the bed wench of white men. It is not just to become somebody go around praising white people for saying that they're doing something for black people. And it's not because they love us. Right now, the enemy is sending that Real Housewives series to Dubai. Because the way to get into any place, in any country, in any city, society, is that you have to contaminate the woman, not the man. You got to contaminate the female, because then she gonna pass that filth on to the children, and then they're gonna take it to their children until somebody comes in with a new idea, and the people take on the new idea.
Calling out on all 20 and 30-year-olds, calling out on all 20 and 30-year-olds, report to your station, report to your duties, to attain knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, so you can get a new identity, role, and purpose in vain. And so, and your people from the ultimate fire of the coming. Understand, you're in a war, you're in a war. Wake your ass up, young man, and young woman, and understand the role and responsibility you get. I'm on the
Hey yo, you stressed, the
That's a
And
fact.
that's not to say, we look at our men and the condition they're in. We raised them. Okay? And then when I say it's the fault of the elders, because us not getting along has been the root of all of the problems that we see in our children.
Okay, look, face reality, young man. Your elder failed you. Your father wasn't there. And the men out here in the streets who are old in their 40s and 50s don't care about you. They become content like Sarnetta. It's time for you to see yourself being the man. You have to assume the position, my brother.
Because had we been able to get along, work it out, now we get along in bed, we know that. But if we could have got along standing up, talking to each other and functioning, then our children wouldn't be in the condition they're in today. It ain't about child support. It ain't about daddy got another woman. It ain't none of those things. It's about that we didn't have enough unity and respect for our children and their future to try to figure out who to go to bed with so that we wouldn't go to bed with somebody that we hated the next day and we could stay with them and raise our children. It's been proven in every study that children who do not have a father on a daily basis, some kind of way, weekly basis, they're not going to do well in school. They're going to hate themselves. They're going to fight the mother. They're going to hate their siblings. They're not going to do well in school. And they ultimately will selling drugs or on drugs and go to jail.
Is that not a fact? Can't you hear the sirens in the back? Don't you know you're living in a war? Can't you see we're in a state of emergency? Bruh, you've been living in hell. You've been living in a war. You just ain't been seeing it. And you've been behaving and acting and doing things that's self-destructive to you and your people. What will your ancestors say if they saw you now?
Facts. Fact. Black liberation and sovereignty. So can black women do it all alone? I feel like you already answered this question, but can we do it all by ourselves? Can we as the people obtain liberation and sovereignty without black men?
No, we can attain a level of what is considered as success in America under the American standards and rules and guidelines. We can accumulate all of those things. But any woman who has loved a black man, any woman who has been held by a black man with his arms around you, there's no comparison to a credit card and a successful college degree to that. You can't replace that. You can't buy that. It ain't on your credit report. And it don't matter how much success you have, it's not as good. And any woman that says it is lying because she has failed to understand what she needed to do about herself. And that's not saying, as I said, that the brothers are not in trouble in a lot of ways, but we put them in trouble. That's my point. The mother, we the first one to touch them. All we say is, my baby, my child, my daughter, my son. We say that even to the father. And we ain't made no baby by ourselves. We ain't that good.
Please go check out my video, Sarnetta the Counter-Revolutionary, because this is one of the elders who started to talk like Shahrazad Ali, but then sat down in the middle of battle. Like, how do you give up during the middle of the battle, Sarnetta? Like, we're still in a war. We're still dysfunctional. We still got problems. We still got genocide. We still got police brutality. We still have crime. And you sat down, bruh.
We have more power over our children than we have anywhere. Children are not born just for us to dress them up and buy them expensive toys and telephones and iPads and computers. That's not the purpose of having a child, just to give them everything. The purpose is to teach and train them to be able to move into a civilized role in society and represent the standards that we need so that those of us who have daughters and granddaughters can find a man. Because right now, the men act so much. They say they not gay, and they not, but they have so many feminine attributes in talking and in their behavior and ideas and petty little issues. They have a lot of those things because women put them in it.
What happened, Sarnetta? Did the Illuminati come and give you a grant that you couldn't refuse to become an arm, leg, arm, head, Negro, Don King, Cornelius, debate organizer? after you came off as a Khalid Muhammad disciple, pro-black revolutionary, take it to the white man. Now you just a Uncle Tom, Negro. Look at the elders, y'all. Study and practice what you preach, y'all.
Grew up around women. They were turned against the father. That's the man they gotta grow up and be. And they would talk bad things about him. Okay, most of us only know anything about our father, whatever our mother told us, and she's still mad at him because they couldn't get along. See? We carry that grudge 20, 30, 40, 50 years, sister. We be mad at a man about something he did back in 1970. Okay? 1980. We still mad about that. And the children grow up. The girls don't know how to get along with a man. The boys they got the female emotional mechanism. They can argue better than women, some of them. And some of them are just so ignorant, and ignorant don't mean dumb. Ignorant means to ignore the truth. And
okay, ladies and gentlemen, speaking to my youth, understand that now they got your music infiltrated with this demonic message to keep us dysfunctional. We have to now take our power back and our will to get knowledge of self so we can be able to rise up to the true ultimate cause, which is freedom and liberation, my brother. See your purpose.
Many of them have decided to ignore the truth because of laziness. Because you have to study, you have to work, you have to learn how to be whoever it is you decide you want to be.
Facts on facts on facts, Queen Mother. Let me ask you about this. Let's move into feminism. And I know you've spoken a lot about this. Do you think that, black women adopting feminism will help or harm black male-female relations and thus the black family?
Well, sister, not only do we not have a national agreed upon definition of respect, we certainly don't have one of what feminism is, The white woman has never been our sister in anything, feminism or anything else. She's still mad because her man wanted us over them. The only reason they wanted a white woman was to produce the white race, because they can only produce themselves if they mate with themselves. See, if they mate with us, you can produce the entire spectrum of every color. All right? So she's mad about that. And she's jealous of us because we are more beautiful. We have a buttock and a lot of other issues that she's still mad about. Okay? So she's never been our sister. We've never really been together in anything. During the civil rights or anything, the white woman didn't come out and support us. She didn't come out and help us defend and protect our children. She didn't do any of that. She's not our friend. People need to always talking about, well, I can work with the white woman, but it's the white man. She's his mother.
Come on, Queen Mother. Come on.
I don't know where they get that from. She teaches. Just like we have failed to teach our children, she has been successful in teaching hers how to rule our children, how to rule us, and what their place is in the world. We're not telling our children that. We're telling them, if you act right, you can go get a good job. We may as well say with the slave master. Now, every black person is not going to go in business. I'm not saying that. But there are many jobs, many ideas, many things that we could collaborate on and support each other on.
Women are aligning themselves with white women who are giving birth to white men who are oppressing their sons.
Right.
It's Queen Mother, it's insane.
Right. Hey, we was here 450 years before we heard the word feminism. So we're not getting ready to jump on some new idea that they came up with, because they ain't never came up with an idea that was good that they shared with us. Never. They've never said, oh, I got some good gold over here. Let's give it to the blacks. Oh, here's the good food over here in the garden. Give it to the blacks. No, they said, give them the pork. Give them the filth. Give them the lima beans, the black-eyed peas. Destroy them. Make them have high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, and everything else that we got came from what they fed us before we learned how to feed ourselves. And now that we have learned how to feed ourselves, we still, many of us, because we have not been taught, would rather eat the food that they offer, which is killing us every day.
Okay, so 2 things keep you in the trap. following the ways of your elders who taught you how to be like this. Lying, irresponsible with your woman, not taking care of your kids, cheating, hanging out at late, fornicating, alcohol, all of these behaviors, these rude things that we've learned have to be removed.
Okay, so that's ridiculous that he would be the enemy. We don't think he's the enemy in the bed. He's the friend there. He's the best friend. Okay, and as black women, since we have not been taught how to select a man, we think good sex is love.
Yes. Yes.
Really. And then when that subsides, which it will, whether it's months or weeks, whatever it is, and then we find out we don't like this person. In fact, we hate this person. You know, why did I get with him? And we'll say to ourselves, I don't know why I got with him because I hate him. Well, that's because we didn't have the knowledge of what to quantify, what to decide are good attributes in a man to select him. And looking at him not just as a good bed mate, but as not just as a good husband, but as a father who is going to help me to raise these children and teach them something so that they don't grow up and be ignorant, out of control, and hateful, and lazy, and all of the things that our children are now.
Mm-hmm. That these sisters don't understand.
All right, if you're in your 20s and your 30s and you're listening to this video, you see the staggering amount of problems wrong with us. But we don't have to feel sorry or sad about it anymore because we have an elder saying the reason why we're like this. The solution, RGY, Riley Got a Youth Organization, says we have to get a new identity, relearn our roles to get a new purpose. Support the channel. Peace.
Understand how to vet a man. They don't have a clue, and so then you end up like the elders used to say, you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. And so a lot of sisters don't know how to vet them, and then so they get with the man and you know the male, and they say, oh, he's dumb, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. Well, if he's dumb and he's retarded and he's all of these things, then what were you when you lay down with this person and you procreated with them?
I'll tell you exactly what we are. We are desperate. We are desperate for affection. You know, they have had studies, and you know this, Dr. Bob, where if a baby is not held and touched, it's not enough to lay it in the bed and give it a bottle. If that baby is not held and caressed and touched, then they grow up retarded. They have all kind of mental problems. See, that human touch cannot be replaced with a good credit score, with a degree, or a credit card, or any of that nonsense we're talking about. Now, here is our problem. This is the mistake that we made. Now, this is real.
Come on,
Queen. Yeah, it is. Yeah. The mistake we have made is deciding, because of our low self-esteem, that the only thing we had to offer a man was sex. And so we have dressed, talked, behaved, and did everything we could to get his attention through sexual innuendo and sexual attraction. And so now we have trained him, especially over the past, I'm going to say 30 years, to not look for anything in us but sex. And so his idea is that once he do that, they hit it and quit it. That's what they say. That's what they call it.
That's what they do, Queen Mother.
And then we're standing around saying, he didn't treat me right. Plus, many of us act like we just so wild and sexual in the bed and everything until we get the man. And then after that, we don't want him to touch us, aren't we? Leave me alone, all right? It's like that. So we do them wrong. We trick them. It's really wrong how we trick them, okay? And so they think that they are playing the role that we have designed for them, and they are. So if we want to pull him back into order, then we don't have to do things like stop out here twerking, putting our neck. Did you ever think you'd see grown black women out shaking their naked behind in the public online?
Never.
I mean,
it's embarrassing.
Our little girls.
It's embarrassing.
Our little girls are watching this. They already think they're not good enough. Okay? However much money that Goldman Sachs is gonna give black women, they gonna spend half of it on fake hair. All right? So we don't have our identity straight ourselves. We know, just give the money to the hair industry, give it to the Asians and be done with it, you know, because that's what we're going to do with it. We want fake eyelashes.
Come on.
We want fake hair. We want fake breasts. And now we even want fake buttocks. And we used to be known for having big butts. Now we want to put a fake one in there and walk around shaking that. It is awful. It's embarrassing. And our little daughters are being raised to think that they are not good enough unless they put somebody else's hair on their head, some plastic on their fingernails, and some silicone gel in their breasts and buttocks. This is what we're teaching them. And we're taking our little 4 and 5-year-olds and putting fake braids in their hair and making them sit for hours to have that fake hair put into their hair, destroying their self-esteem. And in the meantime, our boys are sitting in that beauty shop too, listening to all the ignorance we talk about Black men and about them. See, this thing is messed up. We don't have the right idea. And people are telling me, oh, sister, she old school. No, I'm not old school. I'm from the school where it worked at.
Yes, and RGY is that school where it works. Because it works for me, it works for my wife, and it works for my family. And I invite you to understand this knowledge, understanding, and wisdom here at this camp that will allow you to remove the curse, because this indeed is a curse, ladies and gentlemen, a behavior that's being passed down generation after generation that's destroying us but not freeing us from the same oppressor that keeps doing these things to us. So we have to wake up, and now's the time.
The school I'm from. Okay? Because the white man can't compete with the black man on nothing. Okay? He's afraid of his penis. That's why he kept trying to cut it off in his testicles. He's outgunned on every level. And so, of course, he wants his woman, because that's another way to insult him and to degrade him and to abuse his generations of future children. Okay? They get these white men, they bring them around their house. They don't know how they treat their daughters or their little sons and so forth. Okay? And how can anybody, and I say this for the black man and the black woman, how you gonna lay down in the bed with a picture of who they have showed you they're your open enemy? Somebody that even looked like somebody that has hated my son, I don't want to be around them. Somebody who looked like they killed my grandfather and my great-grandfather, I don't want to lay up in the bed with them. I don't want their filthy seed inside of me. And no black man with any regard for his own black seed should want to lay up with the filthy germ, the white woman who has been the mother of the man that has destroyed him. I say all the time, when these men see these sisters with their clothes off, shaking, they naked behind and everything, that don't mean she bold. That means she's scared to death. And the only way she thinks she can attract a man is to show her body. Stand on the slave block, the same thing we did, as I said, 18 generations ago. We still carry that shame. And our men are trying to normalize their captivity by trying to say they don't want us either. And so the plan has worked to get us not to want each other, not to like each other. And let me mention, we have, as I said, we have power, it's just misused. Yes. We have great power. Yes. And our men say they tired of us. So they gonna quit us. Well, you know, everybody that worked for the white man tired of him too, but you don't just quit your job. You figure out how to get along to keep going. So we have to figure out how to forgive each other of our human frailties. We have to figure out that while they were teaching us not to want the man, they were teaching the man not to want us.
The how, ladies and gentlemen, is simple. We must have sympathy for the black male. We must know that two things happen to us as a result of our behavior, the youth. It is that our elders are passing on a behavior that came from slavery. Okay?
We have to recognize that we share an ancestral slave history that should unite us.
Let's go.
It should bring us together. We should be able to pray together, to cry together, and to talk about what this evil monster has done to our great and wonderful, powerful black nation. What he has done to the greatest man on the earth and the most beautiful woman on the earth. We're the ones that made everything they got. They stole everything they got. They steal everything from our man. They steal everything from you and me. They didn't make up nothing but rape and murder.
It's Rochester, New York. If you Google search the worst crimes, don't eat places where they serve swine. Make random art speaking with a damaged heart and hurt mine. I never let you niggas hurt mine. I was worth 900,000 before I put out my first rhyme. Get dog food and disperse dimes. Heard if you feed a dog raw egg, it make his fur shine. The streets where I learned mine. Not medical school, but eat off the same veins the nurse find.
We don't let them talk. Just because they do things different from us don't make it wrong, but we think it does. You know, we want to, and then we the very ones to sit around saying, I just want a man to accept me as I am. Ain't no such about it, accept nobody as they are. As soon as we get a man, first thing we do is start trying to change him. And that's just what we do. And so for a sister to sit around, and I tell you, that's a dangerous notion. Because as I said, as bad as we think we are, we can't produce no baby. The sperm is the only thing that moves.
What is a persona? A fictional representation of you. Right? They gave you a persona, the nigger breeding, to abuse. And your parents passed it to you. When are you going to break from this persona? You're not cool selling drugs, my brother, and you're not cool looking like a prostitute sister. Wake up.
Over the eggs just lay there. It'll lay there forever if the sperm don't swim up to it. So while we out here trying to create a weak idea of a black man, then we're destroying our own self and our offspring too. So that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and
but we have never been under the direct control of black men. So what do we need to get free from him for? We ought to be trying to get with him. Okay? Instead of trying to get away from him, he ain't never been our boss. The white man been our boss and our supplier. He has been our supporter. He's done all of those things for us. And now he's stepping up because he wants to be our bedmate. So we have to be careful with that. In our glorious history, we got, 5,000 years ago in Kemet or something. None of that matters if we can't get up out of our low self-esteem.